Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try to get this show on the road, okay? Is this exciting or what? Look at all you people. We've taken up all the seats. There's only 3 left up front. So whoever is late gets to sit up front. Just saying, we're getting back. We're coming back. Okay, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Florence Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. My name is Sally Wantz. We begin this morning by recognizing the first people of this region, the Siuslaw Indians. FUF is grateful for their careful stewardship of this land, the water, and the air, and we honor the tribe by giving thanks to those families, past, present, and future. So before we begin singing our opening hymn, I have some opening words that Donna would like me to share for you. It's from Martin Luther King Jr., and it goes like this. World peace through nonviolent means is neither absurd nor unattainable. All other methods have failed. Thus, we must begin anew. Nonviolence is a good starting point. Those of us who believe in this method can be voices of reason, sanity, and understanding amid the voices of violence, hatred, and emotion. We can very well set a mood for peace, out of which a system of peace can be built. Blessed be. Yeah. So I'm going to ask that you rise as you are able. We're going to open our service by singing Spirit of Life, number 123 in your hymnal. If you know the melody and you know the words, then you don't need to open to 123. And oh, by the way, we're going to also need that blue hymnal eventually, because that's where we're going to be singing Lean on Me, and I forgot to tell Paula. So we'll get those distributed momentarily. So are you ready, Jeff? Spirit of Life.
Spirit of life, come to me. Sing in my heart all the sterns of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move within the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots will all be closed. Wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Very lively, everybody. Very good. Thank you. So a few announcements. Today is the spring equinox, March 20th. Meet Catherine and Rosemary over at St. Andrews at 2 o'clock and walk the labyrinth. And if you go, there's a request that you make a contribution to that organization, to the church, so they can continue doing what they're doing. So that would be appreciated. This is also Climate Justice Month, starting March 22nd to April 22nd. And I know Mark Levy has his interfaith convocation happening on April 3rd. There's a flyer in the back, so you want to be there for sure. We have Reverend Dr. Ruth Miller will be there. I think Fred Miller, is Fred going to be there? Fred Miller?
Fred will be representing the Buddhists.
Fred Miller will be there representing the Buddhists. And Dean Schrock will be there representing kind of us. Okay? So anyway, he's got 17 other people around the city, so this is going to be a wonderful event. This is also Women's History Month. Yes, we get a month of our own, and it's 31 days long. Do the men get a month and it's only 28 days? We're not quite sure. This is Irish American History Month, Heritage Month, I'm sorry. Did you know the Peace Corps was established March 1st, 1961? I know. And the season for nonviolence, as Donna will share later, starts January 30th through April 4th. International Transgender Day of Visibility is March 31st. Whew. And I ask you to silence your cell phones, turn them off, put them on mute, turn them off. We don't want to hear any ringy-dingy. Right, Paula? I pick on Paula. And I asked, do we have anybody here today for the first time? Yes. Would you like to stand and introduce yourself? Excellent. What's your first name again? Sequoia. Very nice. We like that. Thank you. I don't see anybody else, but what I do have for you, Sequoia, is a book, and it's called Windows to the Light. And they are haiku meditations. It's our way of saying thank you for being here before we come back. Okay? Thank you very much for being here. Anybody else?
Last call.
What's that?
Last call.
Last call for anybody else. So we've got a great group today, don't we? Look at this, look around. Turn around and say hello to the person next to you, in front of you, behind you. Give them a warm hello. Hello. You have an announcement? So are there any other, I didn't ask if there are any other announcements, but I think Ray has an announcement. Come on up, Ray.
So last week, I don't know whether everybody saw it, but I was talking about a way to help Ukrainian families, refugees in Poland. And I've since hooked up with my friend, the former president of the Klamath Falls UU, who lives in Zaliksin, Poland, about 200 kilometers from the border. And she's working with an organization, I will not try to say it in Polish, Samaritan Federation of Non-Governmental Organizations. And what they're doing is a couple of things. They've got a stockpile of goods in the town of Zaklitsin, which is about the size of Reedsport, a little smaller, in their library for when refugees get there. There's diapers and food and clothes. So they got to replenish that. Every time they take a trip to the border, they bring a truckload of supplies for the border, and they bring back refugees trying to get to the interior. And they're delivering them all over Poland, not just Zaklitsin. So they need money for supplies, money for gas, blah, blah, blah. And gas is tremendously expensive in Europe, as you probably know. So, if you'd like to contribute, I'm going to hang around after service. You can give me the money. We're going to make a deposit to FOOF, and then we're going to send them by PayPal to this organization in Poland. That way the people will get every dime, because I trust Anna implicitly. If you want to send a check, it's P.O. Box 2502 in Florence, 97439. Make it out to FOOF and put Ukraine, or you can give me the check and I'll stick it with the rest of it.
Thank you. And as we offer the community basket, if you'd prefer, if it's easier, you can put those funds in the center basket, okay? Center for Ukraine, okay? Does that make sense? Okay. Center for Ukraine. Thank you for that. Any other announcements? Deborah's coming forward. You better get behind this podium, Missy.
Well, as most of you know, the FOG, or Florence Outdoor Group, is our hiking group here at FOOF, and we have traditionally had a public service project that we do. So that is going to be coming up this Wednesday. This Wednesday, normally we meet every Wednesday at 10 to go hiking, but this Wednesday we are having our spring planning meeting at 10 o'clock, followed at 11 by our new public service project. We've been working with the State Department of Transportation and have adopted a 1 mile stretch of Highway 101 that fronts FOOF. It goes from, our mile goes from Munzel Lake Road across from Freddy's down to, what's the name of that street, Tuvia, where the reserve is? Something Dune Street. Anyway, the road that goes into the reserve. So it's 1 mile, but both sides of the road, so it'll be a 2-mile walk as we clean it up on Wednesday. Dunewood, that's it, yeah. So Munsell Lake Road to Dunewood. So not just the fog hikers, but everybody is invited to be here at 11 to help us with the Highway 101 cleanup in front of FOOF.
Thank you. Good job. Good job. Yeah, what do they need to bring? Maybe work gloves, dress for the weather.
Yeah, probably some gloves. The DOT is providing us with vests and,
Okay, bags and everything. Okay, good. Thank you. Any other announcements? I just want to remind you that after service, Catherine will be here in the side room offering affirmative prayer. Yes. And Donna Smith will be here for 2 things. We'll meet in the library probably and discuss today's service. And then she has a class that starts at 11:30 called Raising Consciousness. Okay? Yes, Ashley?
I know a lot of people are doing puzzles. I'm putting a puzzle back there if you want it, take it, if you got some.
Jigsaw puzzle?
Yeah, jigsaw.
Okay.
So,
Take the puzzle, bring a puzzle, share a puzzle. Yes, love puzzles. We're going to remain fully masked for a while here at FOOF, so we ask that you continue to do that and be good sports about it. I'm not sure it's necessary for KN95s, but something. Let's just remain masked, and until the time we can do some food and beverage next door, we'll continue without that at this point. Okay, fair enough? Good. Any other announcements? No? Good. So I've asked Lynn if she'd come forward and light our chalice. We've done the drill. She knows how to do it. She's been trained. Yeah. So this is a flame that goes inside our chalice. And we light this for renewal of our faith by Reverend Suzelle Lynch. Each time we light the flame in our chalice, we renew our commitment to our Unitarian Universalist faith. With the spark of a match or a click of a lighter, we make it new again, as fresh and surprising as the first day we encountered this spiritual community and realized we were home. We light the flame in our chalice for renewal of our faith. Thank you, Lynn. Catherine, I think, is going to lead us in some joys and concerns. And yeah, come on up. The microphone's off to the right side this time. So, don't move it.
Move it? Okay. Good morning, everyone. This is the part of our service for joys and concerns that most of you know. This is the time that we share ourselves, share from our heart, things that are bothering us, things that we need support for from the larger community. Also, some of us just burst with joy once in a while, and we always need the joys as well. So to balance out all the other, because we are all one. So, as you know, you walk around this side. Sally will give you the microphone. You share your share, and then drop a shell, if you like, in the cleansing water. It's a little ritual we have.
All right. I am full of energy today because I think we finally got the live streaming to work. Okay? So many thanks to David Daniel, helping me Friday with the audio and all that kind of stuff and getting testing and all that. Chris Malore, letting me know that it could be done and that sort of thing. George, in putting it all to the tech committee together and all that, I think we've got it working. But you've got to speak up, because I got monitors. Jennifer French, my technical expert in the field, is looking and testing and giving comments and stuff like that. So just because you can hear each other in here, unfortunately those on the outside world can't unless you're speaking into a mic. Okay? So there you go.
Okay, so speak into the microphone. Yes, Donna?
does that mean,
As she's not speaking into a microphone, does that mean what?
and I'm not affirming this at all, but perchance if something happened I couldn't make it,
Yeah,
I could actually live stream.
we can work on that, boy, yes, but not today.
Not today,
Okay, good. Tuvia.
This is definitely a joy because when I walked in here today, I felt such energy and such happiness. And so there are 3 words that I would like to share what I felt and then drop in 3 shells. It's hope, optimism, and perseverance, which enable us to do great things. And just think, hope, optimism, perseverance, let us hop into spring.
Oh, Tuvia, that was very good.
Thank you.
So 2 joy/concerns. Our partner this month and next month, I believe, is Florence Food Share. And I don't know if you all know this, but they've instituted a new program where they will actually deliver food to people's homes.
Oh,
Up to 25 pounds. You can call Food Share, put an order in, they'll put it together on Tuesday or Wednesday and deliver it on Thursday. So if you know people that are shut in, people that just need a little more help, people that aren't excited about going to the grocery just yet and have trouble with the pickup, Food Share is there for you. So I just want to pass that word along. And then the second joy/concern is this little basket here. This is our We Care, and we haven't talked about this in months. This is a program that FOOF is participating in along with Florence Indivisible. We're targeting the school employees and teachers to show them that we care. This has been such a bad time for our schools and our teachers especially. So they're putting together just lovely little baskets, which they're bringing to all the big break rooms. And I have to tell you, Bev Apple, one of our member friends, personally contacted me and said how much it mattered to her to have gotten those notes of thanks, the little M&Ms or Cheetos or whatever you put in there that's good, tasty little treats, energy bars, things like that, and those notes of thanks. We're only going to do this for 2 more months. So if you can think of it and bring it, that would be just lovely. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The notes of thanks, I know, you can feed them all of the stuff, but the notes of thanks really are very, very special. Talking to you, Ann Lathrop. Okay.
Hey, good morning. This is a joy. A very dear friend of mine that lives back east, I've known we're trying to figure out if it's 49 or 51 years, was diagnosed with cancer. She's been through hell and back, and she is in remission.
yay. What is her name? Tell me.
Christina.
Christina, okay. Drop a shell for
Christina.
Christina, yes. Okay.
And I have a joy. I just came back from a short, long stay in a little town called Carefree, Arizona. Yes, it is the name of a city. It's about the size of Florence, and it's thriving, and I went down to visit my girlfriends. We had a blast. So this is to the Fab Four, is what we call ourselves. Thank you. And done. Okay.
Good morning. This is a joy. And I want to let you guys all know I'm looking around to thank our staff, the church elders. This is the first time in 7 or 8 years I've seen over 15 men at the service. We're usually always outnumbered 2 to 1 by the ladies. So I wanted to say thank you, all of you. One applause for our staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Don.
Okay. All right, I have,
Can I do one more?
absolutely.
So I should have done this in announcements, but as you may know, the Last Resort Players has been using our space for rehearsals, right? For their production called John and Jen. It's absolutely priceless, and in exchange for using our space, they have advertised Florence Unitarian Universalist Fellowship 3 times in the program. And who knows how many hundred of people will see this, but this is what we got in exchange. Good publicity. It's a wonderful jewel box musical, 2 people singing their hearts out with a precious, precious story. You've got to see. Go to Last Resort Players, get your tickets at the FEC, and go see John and Jen. It's precious, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. I have just one thing. I will put a card back there for Evelyn. Didn't you say that I know that she broke her tibia, correct? Yes, she is healing already. But, everyone loves to get these cards with everybody's signature on it. So it'll be in the back with a pen. Okay. And one last shell for all those that we don't know. All those sitting home, although, wow, we sure have a lot of people today. But there's still those out there that need our support. I'm going to say one more spring thing. Not as good as Tuvia's maybe, but this is this is from Hildegard von Bingen. O most noble greenness rooted in the sun, you who emanate light in peaceful white rays from the center of a wheel so no earthly mind can comprehend. You are enfolded by the embraces of the divine mysteries, and so it is.
I have a responsive reading, and you have 3 words. And when I do this, you will say, "What's the point?" Right? I want to hear it, right?
What's the point?
One more time.
What's the point?
Very good. Okay, so start.
What's the point?
To renew our faith, to renew our trust that our world is enough, that we are enough.
What's the point?
To remind ourselves that loving our world and each other is our way.
What's the point?
To renew our faith that loving choices create a loving life.
What's the point?
I didn't point. Oh, that was bad, Donna. That was bad. That was good. So we're going to open, we're going to sing. The title is Lean on Me. I think most of us know the tune, know the melody. It's number 2010? All right, 1021. It's one of those, 1021. Number 1021 in the turquoise hymnal, okay? So if you want to stand and sing, Jeff's going to play, and he's going to start us off, right? Right, he's going to do that. 1021, thank you for that. You ready? Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me, Lord. Are we doing the lean? I think I got lost. No one can fill those of your needs if you don't attention. Sorry, we don't know where we're going. When do we sing the lean on me part?
You already finished that part.
Oh. I'm going to the lean on me, and you keep going back to a verse. Somebody help me. I don't Sorry, Jeff, I was really relying on listening to your voice while we were singing that, and I couldn't hear it, so, whew, I tell you. All right, such an unruly crowd. So it's my pleasure to introduce Reverend Donna Smith to the pulpit. She's here to talk about her particular topic is called Changing the World Using the Power of Nonviolence. Donna, we are ready for you. Come on up here. Do you want the podium? Do you want the thing down?
I guess if people want to see me, maybe I don't.
Okay.
I think they liked it better last time.
And
when I
remember,
was-
you got to speak up too.
I know. I'm really going to concentrate on that. And I'm going to take this off. Yay. Isn't that great? I love that. Yes. How about that? I'm going to speak right here. I hope I can see what I. Good morning, everyone. Oh, wow. The energy today is amazing. It's electrifying. It's wonderful. And it's really, really good to see all of you. And on the way over, I got to see the elk. Yeah. The ladies were on one end and the gentlemen on the other end. I'm not sure what that means, but yeah, they were all out. It was wonderful. So I want to say our responsive reading today just summarized my whole sermon. So maybe I should just sit down. I don't know. Anyway, I will try to stay right here. Jay. All right. So our theme this month is faith. And we are still in the season for nonviolence, as Sally was saying earlier. That was co-founded by Arun and Sunanda Gandhi and the Association for Global New Thought back in 1998. And it marks that 64 days from the anniversary of Gandhi's death in June 30th, 1948, and Martin Luther King Jr.'s in April 4th, 1968, 20 years. And it's been actually very powerful. Unity has used it for many years now as a focus during that time. So these two incredibly courageous men and all those who chose to step up with them were faith in action. They both believed in the sacredness of all life and in honoring that life through choices and actions using peaceful means. Those that ended their lives to stop them actually became the fuel that encourages others to follow their paths of nonviolence. So when they were here, they were a very strong influence, and they continue to be. So I think that backfired for them. The legacy of nonviolence is much needed today, as we know, and it needs to be revived, especially with regard to the Ukrainian and Russian war. So let's look at what is faith. As defined in Hebrews 11:1. Sorry, I'm having a problem here. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. And here's another one that I really like. And it's from 1 John 5:4. And this is the victory that conquers the world, our faith. I really like that one. Now, I asked some of my coworkers at Abasela the other day, what did they think faith means, or what does it mean to them? And one said, to believe in something to be true with no proof, usually having a religious connotation. Another one said, trust in ideas and persons without religious connotation. And another said, faith is the same as having trust in something. And so I asked if they could say that faith was an inner knowing, but none of them knew how to do that. They couldn't wrap their mind around that. They said that they had to think about it. And the reason I asked them that is because that is what faith is to me. It is that inner knowing, that trust in yourself, that you are following your highest self and your divine guidance. Now, every one of them had to stop and really think about that. But, many people don't think about faith too much. I mean, do you think about it daily? Probably not. It's not a topic that comes up on our daily lives. And you really don't hear people coming up and saying to you, "Hi, how's your faith today?" Do you know? However, I think that might be a really good idea to keep reminding us. And, because if we could really get a hold of what do we have faith in, I think it would help us live our lives a little bit differently, maybe. Now, I was going to do this aside. Maybe I'll do it anyway. We had what's called a bull's eye tasting of Grenache wine at Unity. No, at Abyssala the other day. Yeah, it's a rocking place. So we had 17 employees come together. We had 5 different wines from around the world, Grenache. And I was in awe as I watched and participated in this process. It was amazing. We had to rank each one from 1 to 10. And then after it was all done, we each, gave our ratings for these wines. Every one of those wines had a rating from 1 to 10. I thought, how could that be? And then I thought, that is kind of representative of humanity. I mean, if we can't get 17 people in one room to agree on one wine, can you imagine why we have all this discontent around the world? But the reason I brought that up is I just wanted to let you know the tasters, the people who sell you Abyssala wine, they truly have faith in that wine. It's very good. So that's why I brought that up. Now, I think there's 2 aspects to faith. Now, there's faith in our world and our humanity, but there's also faith in yourself. And I think faith in yourself is a prerequisite to having faith in our world and our humanity. Gandhi and King first and foremost believed in themselves and their commitment to their life purpose. Now, this is very evident because if they did not understand that they were divine beings who already possessed the attributes of peace and nonviolence, how could they possibly have shared that with the world? So our brothers and sisters who have not yet found their divine essence cannot share those attributes with the world. That's impossible. Instead, they are acting from fear, and they are still facing violence and war. Now, here's what I really want you to hear. You can only give to the world what you know and have faith exists within you. Otherwise, how could you give it? And there are many, many people in the world today that know this about themselves and are doing wonderful things in the outer to help our world. Now, we don't necessarily hear about them, although I'm feeling that that's changing a bit because I am hearing more about it. However, I also want to just bring back something I shared with you last time, that there is so much more light in the world today. And the reason we know that is because we're seeing the dirt. Okay? The light has been turned on in the room, and now we're seeing the dirt. The room is the world. So this is really good. But I want you to understand that just means there's more light, because the light has done that. So, we recently lost Archbishop Desmond Tutu. Now, he was a wonderful example of a man of unwavering faith who taught love and compassion while never being afraid to speak up in some very, probably volatile situations. And he said, "We are each made for goodness, love, and compassion. Our lives are transformed as much as the world is when we live these truths. So can you imagine if everyone believed in these truths that Gandhi, King, and Tutu knew and expressed in the world? What a different world we'd have. And how would the world be transformed if every politician and every leader of every country believed that their purpose was goodness, love, and compassion? Now, here's where those who do not have faith in the world would say that was impossible, right? However, if you have faith, you know that the power of love and compassion can transform anything and anyone. Okay? So that's the vision I'm holding. You know, there's a lot of power in visioning, and I have seen it so much in our Power of 8 intention group that we hold every Thursday. Amazing things have happened because of those intentions and visions that we hold. And you know, when you hold those intentions like that, you're asking the universe to show you that. And the universe will always say yes, always. It does it every time. Now, the thing here is it might take a little longer than you want it to take, but it always happens. Our sixth principle is the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. What a wonderful principle that we really need to keep within our focus and attention right now, because the world really, really needs that. And what I want to say about that is, as I've been kind of saying along here, is we have to have that peace and justice and liberty within us first. We must really believe that within us first. And then you can share it out there, and that really changes the world. So this is why we must hold the vision of compassion, caring, and peace for everyone, especially now, and especially for both sides of the Ukrainian-Russian war. Okay? We must embrace them all, because love is the only power that can change and affect fear and transform fear. It's the only power that can do that. And condemning another only keeps that fear and that acting out in place. And that's what we want to change. So, sending love, no matter what. And it's really easy to send love to those that are, I'm going to say the victims here, and not so easy for the oppressors. However, it's needed on both sides, because the other side, the oppressive side, cannot change unless it is surrounded with love. And I know sometimes that's very hard to do. It's very hard to do. However, if we truly want to see a change, that's what we need. We need that light and that love to make that change, because more fear will not do it. So, as I said before, sometimes this love takes a while to penetrate those deep fears that people are experiencing and acting out on. But other times, transformation is almost immediate. So here are some words from Lynn McTaggart. What Ukraine is teaching us. Just a short month ago, most of us in the West were deeply divided over how to best handle COVID, or how terrible the other political party was, or Brexit, or the EU, or climate change, or cultural wars over issues like gender. You name it, we argued over it. Now, virtually overnight, ordinary Westerners around the world have banded together in common cause to help Ukraine, spilling over with generosity in the form of charitable donations, food, army recruits, and places to stay. Charity has suddenly spread like contagion. Isn't that heartwarming? Isn't that just an example of who we truly are? It just seems like whenever we have a catastrophe, people step up, because that's when their true essence kicks in, so to speak, and you realize, yes, I am a human being, I am love, and that other part of me out there needs help. And you know, I do feel some sadness because, you know, loss of human life is involved. And I do have a belief that there is no death, that we just change forms. However, the sadness of loss I'm feeling for them, and I'm holding them so deep in my heart, the ones that are suffering from that. Now, it requires faith in humanity, does it not, to see beyond all of these things that we're seeing today. And this is why I'm honoring not only Gandhi, King, Tutu, and the Dalai Lama, but all the others in our world that know who they are and are holding the light around all of these situations, because they know that that's what's going to help. So I'm going to ask that we each focus on our faith in ourselves and our power to change the world, okay? If you have any doubt in your heart that this is possible, that will be what you are sending out into the world. It's not possible. It is so important that we send out what we want, not what we don't want. The universe will always back you up, but it has no reference to not or no and yes. It just knows this is what you're thinking, and it says, okay, here it is. So that's why it's so very important to think about what you want, envision what you want, and see it happening. See it happening. I was in the Power of Eight the other morning, and we did an intention for the Ukraine situation. I hope I can say this without crying. And I had this vision that, and it was like I was actually right there watching this, but a Russian soldier and a Ukrainian soldier came upon each other, and the Russian soldier threw down his gun. And he said, this is my vision, he said, I can't do this anymore. And so the Ukrainian threw down his gun and they embraced. It was so clear in my mind, I cried, just like I am now, sorry. But you know, that's what we need to envision, those kind of things. They're so powerful, so very powerful. Okay. So I want to encourage you to do that. I want to encourage you to listen to your inner guidance, to realize that your inner guidance will always, always give you messages that are for the highest and best for everyone. And those are the kind of things that we need to act upon, are those kind of things that we know are the guidance from higher source. Now, I love this affirmation. The light of faith leads me through the darkness of doubt. And doubt is a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker, okay? Your faith is really easy to follow in times where everything is going well and you're comfortable, you know, you're at ease. However, in more challenging times, your faith may be more difficult to hang on to. But that is exactly when we really need to hang on to it. Gandhi and King went through some really rough times, but they held on to their faith and their convictions for themselves and humanity, and they made a difference. Now, sometimes fear can overcome faith. Even in Jesus' time, even in his final days, he wrestled with his doubts, but he overcame them. And in fact, one of his teachings is, these things you can do and even greater things you can do. So living in faith does not mean that we're wearing rose-colored glasses, okay? It means taking and holding a higher view of all the circumstances in your life and the world, and having faith in the transformation of these situations. Have faith in peace, even in the midst of conflict and strife. Have faith that comfort is available in the presence of pain and grief. Have faith that healing is possible and wholeness can be realized even in a state of illness or injury. Have faith in your power to create your life and contribute to the world's peace. And have faith in humanity's foundation in love. Every embodied soul came with a purpose and to grow and learn. Have faith that your purpose is revealed to you and you can fulfill that purpose because you can. And then hold that vision for all of our brothers and sisters. If we lose faith, we lose on all fronts. Faith leads to the courage to do what is yours to do in this world. It does not have to be a Gandhi or a King act. Every act of love is a miracle. Of course, in miracle states, there is no order to miracles. So, helping someone cross the street in a safe way is the same as changing the energy of a country. That's what love is. It's that powerful. And those little tiny things that you think aren't really anything lead to amazing things. Okay, there is no order to miracles. So remember that every time you choose love over fear, you have just created a miracle. And we need a lot more miracles right now, don't we? Yeah. And I have faith that that's exactly what's happening. I truly do. The responses and efforts of people around the world in helping the refugees has been amazing. And as Lynn was pointing out, almost overnight. Just amazing. So love is our only real power. Fear really has no power, just what we give it. And it only seems to have a power because we get so engrossed and we succumb to it. So every time you hold to your faith, you are encouraging others to do the same. So I encourage you to use faith as the lens through which you view the world and your place in it. And I encourage you to attune yourself to a greater reality to be secure in your faith. And yes, I know we can have faith in lack and sickness, war, doomsday forecasts, the end of times, and these are all based in fear. So I encourage you to think about what you have faith in. Ask yourself, is this a faith in love or is this a faith in fear? Fear does not know and cannot know truth. So if you feel yourself in fear, take a deep breath, go back into your heart, and get to that place where you can let fear go for a moment, and that's where you'll know what to do. Because we will face fear. That doesn't mean that we're not going to face fear sometimes. It's okay. It's part of our learning process. But do you listen to others who are in fear and, tell you the world is falling apart and it's going to end and all that? I have had so many emails about the end of the world kind of things, these just in the last few, months. And I refuse to listen to them. Now, I'm not putting my head in the sand. What I'm doing is I'm going to go listen to my higher self. I'm not going to listen to that. And I truly believe that Spirit will let me know what I need to know in any given time. And that's where I put my faith, and it has never failed me. What you have faith in, shows in your results. This is another way to discover what you have faith in. Okay? What are you experiencing right now? What are the results of your beliefs? And do not be discouraged if you do not see results that you would like to see. It's just a matter of making different choices. I truly encourage you never to put yourself down. Always be gentle with yourself, because all of these things that we experience are opportunities to learn and grow, make different choices. Now, I want to close by sharing with you the life of the surprise lily. Lush, grayish-green surprise lily leaves, which are about 1 inch wide and 12 inches long, emerge in spring. The leaves radiate outward and flop at the base, and they wither and die in early summer. In mid to late summer, 1 inch thick leafless stems called scapes suddenly pop from the ground. These scapes yield flowers. Having arisen from leafless, seemingly dead plants, flower lily scapes grow to their full height in August through early October. Each scape bears 4 to 7 fragrant, funnel-shaped flowers that are rose pink tinged with lilac. The blooms are about 3 inches long and 1 or 2 inches wide. Only 4 to 5 days elapse from the time the flower stalks emerge to when full blooms appear. So the lesson here, I believe, perhaps with our faith, we need to have patience. And when it looks like everything that we believe in cannot be possible, remember that scape's going to come up and this beautiful flower is going to appear. That's why I like this beautiful flower. So, I have an affirmation you may want to say to yourself. Yes, it is possible. Even if I don't know how my goal will be realized, it is possible, and I will find the way. Have faith in you and your divine power. Yes. So I'd like to invite you now to join me in a meditation. So please find a comfortable position for your body. Close your eyes and bring your attention to your heart. Let's begin with quiet breathing. While radiating feelings of love and care for someone or something that brings you genuine feelings of love and gratitude. And this helps open and warm the heart, which increases the effectiveness of the care focus. And our care focus this morning is collective compassion for the Ukraine and Russia. In this empowered state, let's send our deepest care and compassion to people directly affected by this war. This includes the people of Ukraine, soldiers and refugees, the soldiers of Russia, and the people in Russia. And many people in Russia are saddened with pain in their hearts regarding this invasion. And now let's send compassion and gratitude to the people and countries taking in millions of refugees. And send heart that those who support this war might open their hearts to the pain the war is causing and realize the setback it is inflicting on nations, much less the world community. and see our deep heart's care, contributing to a global heart, awakening of collective compassion that is on the rise as a result of this war. So let's just take a moment and send our care focus to the Ukraine and Russia. So let's close by envisioning that humanity will realize that war is a thing of the past. And as Carl Sandburg said, someday they will give a war and no one will come. So let us envision that reality. So it's time to bring our attention back into this room and just remember how powerful those visions and those prayers are, because that's light. And as much light as there is, we can always use more light in our world. So I want to just also offer you something. Unity has put together a 1-minute prayer time for the Ukraine and Russia every day. And they have different times that they've set up around the world. And for the United States, every day at 6 p.m., they ask people for 1 minute to just send your love and light and your prayers for peace. So I invite you to do that with us. And I also want to invite you to the class. Today we're going to talk about ascension, and I'm going to give some empowerment tools, and if we have time, we're going to start talking about that little voice in your head. And we all know that little voice, don't we? Thank you very much.
Dvorak. Thank you, Jeff. That was beautiful. Thank you very, very much. You can play that anytime. Anytime. Thank you. And thank you, Donna, for your message. Really appreciate that today. So our offering, as Judy has shared earlier, is Florence Food Share. And that is our community partner for this month and next. So we raise money to give to them, and they will appreciate your contribution greatly. You know, they've got the new home delivery, they've got the truck that comes to your house if you need help sprucing up your yard. They're just doing so much. And I know the beds are getting planted with vegetables and fruits, so everything is moving swimmingly at Florence Food Share. We also ask for your contribution to this particular fellowship. And many of you know this, but some may not. We're self-governed, we're self-funded, so everything that we do here is because of you. Everything we do here is because of people who have been here before, people like you and the people who will come after you. So as the basket comes around today, there are 3 opportunities, right? We have the Ukraine opportunity as well. And I'll ask if you'll just envision we have a basket. On this side it says the Florence Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. In the middle is the Ukraine. And on the far end is Food Share. Far end, Food Share. So we ask you just think about that. And the basket comes to you and you're unable to give at this time, it's okay. Just hold the basket with good intention and shower it with love before you pass it on to the next person. So I wonder if Catherine would help on one end, and maybe Richard, would you help on that end? Help pass the basket around, and I'll go down the center if needed. And for those of you listening at home, if you wish to make your contribution, you can do so by sending us a check to payable to FOOF, P.O. Box 2502. You can visit our website and click on the donate button as well. And you may designate however you want those funds to be used, either to FOOF, Food Share, or Ukraine. And before we begin, I ask that you repeat after me. Divine love through me.
Divine love through me.
Blesses and multiplies all that I am.
Blesses and multiplies all that I am.
All that I give.
All that I give.
And all that I receive.
And all that I receive.
I am prosperous now. Blessed be. Jeff's going to play a little music as we pass this basket, and yeah. We thank you for your spiritual practice of giving. Your contributions are absolutely received in grateful appreciation. So I'm going to ask Lynn if you'd come back up. We're going to extinguish our flame as I offer these closing words from Mohandas Gandhi, who earned the reverence of his followers who called him Mahatma, which in Sanskrit means the great-souled one. We but mirror the world. All the tendencies present in the outer world are to be found in the world of our body. If we could change ourselves, the tendencies in the world would also change. As a woman changes her own nature, which doesn't happen necessarily very often, as a woman changes her own nature, so does the attitude of the world change towards her. This is my divine mystery supreme. A wonderful thing it is, and the source of all our happiness. We need not wait to see what others do. So if you would, please rise as you are able, and we're going to form a circle. For those who here are for the first time, we form a circle around the chairs, and the words to the peace song are on the back of the program if you need that help. Jeff will cue up the music. We will sing. If you want to hold hands or lock arms, I leave that totally up to you. And we hope you stay to meet with Reverend Donna, and if you need to speak with Catherine, that as well. So, Jeff, we now sing the peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With love as our center, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow.